Irrigation year in and year out in this area, unfortunately, we're less and less. We're doing everything we can to monitor and conserve the water that we have, but unfortunately we're on a depleting basis, and so we've got to be good stewards of the resources that we have. When I first started farming back in the early 80s, we didn't have any center pivots. Everything we did was row water. We had a lot more water. The playa lakes were all full of water. And that's why we had runoff. You know, we would row water down the row, and we used to think we could irrigate about 40 to 50 acres per irrigation well. And today we're irrigating about 120 acres per irrigation well.
Most of our pivots are 1/4 mile length, which is usually 120 acres under each pivot. And our water, it varies dramatically. Some places have better water than others. And that depends on how I irrigate with that sprinkler. If I don't have very much water, then I try to put down a heavier rate to fight evaporation. It seems like, you know, if you're just trying to get it across the ground real fast like you do if you have more water, you're evaporating, and most of the time, most of what you're watering is evaporating. If you'll apply heavier amounts of water, more moisture goes into the soil. It's hard to watch something burn up in front of you, but you have to take into consideration you're saving what's behind you.
All of our corn is irrigated through center pivot is how we irrigate everything. The system behind us is a Zimmatic system. It's a 1/2 mile pivot. It's got about 260 acres under this circle. We're irrigating it with approximately 1,500 gallons per minute is what this system is capable of pumping.
What I do is I plant wheat as a cover crop. And so that keeps it from eroding from the wind is the biggest reason I do it, but it also helps keep moisture in the ground. And you can see this is last year's corn crop. The more residue you can hold in the ground, the more water you can hold. And then we also have drip irrigation, which is this tube that runs underneath the ground that fills up with water that has little emitters, and it just drips water out. And the evaporation on that is practically nothing. And what's really cool about it, about the drip fields, every plant gets a drink every day. So you don't just water, you know, whenever you're with the pivot, so you're watering here, well, let's say it takes 4 days to get across your field. Well, I mean, you're not giving every plant a drink every day. Obviously, it's going to be 4 days before that side gets a drink.
The challenge is we've got to be more efficient. We have new hybrids coming out that are Aquamax hybrids that we can raise good crops on less water. And we're getting to a point where we're not shooting for the highest top yield. You've got to shoot, there's an economic threshold there, and that's the one that we're looking for, where we can make the most money for the minimum amount of inputs.